When a woman learns she's pregnant, she has a lot of decisions to make before the baby arrives. But as Local 6's Scott McGee explains, there is a growing number of women who were making a decision for how the baby arrives, specifically choosing to give birth at home instead of at a hospital.
A recent study by the Centers for Disease Control shows home births jumped 30% from 2004 to 2009, and it also shows most of those home births were attended by midwives, the vast majority of those by what are called professional or lay midwives. But here's the thing. The use of a professional midwife is illegal in 12 states, including 3 in our area, Illinois, Kentucky, and Missouri. And tonight, a lot of women say the problem isn't the midwives. The problem is the law. You are witnessing a true miracle of life.
It's wonderful.
You're witnessing that instant bond between mother and son, Sarah and Amos.
It's a hard experience to put words to because it's so big and it's so powerful.
And yet there's one more emotion that comes to mind as well.
It infuriates me.
But this is all you will witness of Amos's birth, because had we shown what happened just a few seconds earlier, you also would have witnessed a professional midwife assisting. And in Kentucky, Illinois, and Missouri, that's a crime.
I love my midwife to put herself in such a difficult position for me. It's really hard.
It's scary, like I said. I mean, I've had that nightmare where the police have come.
This professional midwife, we'll call Janet, asked us not to identify her.
I don't choose to be a martyr at this time.
She was not involved in Sarah's 2 home births, but has performed more than 600 in her 12-year career. She uses tools both ancient.
This is a piniard horn.
And modern.
This is a Doppler. And I'm proud of what I do. I feel lucky. I feel blessed.
Janet is certified by the North American Registry of Midwives, but the state of Kentucky and 11 other states don't recognize that certification. Under Kentucky law, a certified nurse midwife can assist in a home delivery, but someone like Janet, who is a professional or lay midwife but is not a nurse, cannot. Meaning Janet could end up like Irina Kiesler, an Indiana professional midwife who was arrested in March for practicing midwifery without a license. And in its most recent newsletter, the Kentucky Board of Nursing said it was ready to seek legal actions against lay midwives like Janet.
It makes no sense.
So, professional or lay midwives are working underground right now in Kentucky. And why not use a nurse midwife, which are legal? Well, coming up, we're going to tell you why they're frustrated as well and why that's particularly ironic in Kentucky. A story that starts with this stamp. Welcome back. We're talking tonight about midwives, an ancient practice still used by the Amish and often the rural poor, but is once again growing in popularity with affluent suburban moms. However, Illinois, Missouri, and Kentucky law bans professional midwifery, and as I've learned, makes it impractical for nurse midwives in Kentucky. And that's particularly ironic for Kentucky. In 1925, Mary Breckinridge, the granddaughter of a vice president, turned her back on a privileged upbringing to open the Frontier Nursing Service in eastern Kentucky. She and her team provided nurse midwifery services to poor rural mothers, a body of life-saving work that earned her her own postage stamp. But more than that, the service lives on today as Frontier Nursing University, located in Hyden, Kentucky, the largest nursing school in the country. Yet,
it's been a struggle.
Deborah Karsnitz teaches midwifery at the school. She supports the law banning professional midwives.
I am not a fan because there are a few that are great, but quite honestly, most of them are not.
But she is frustrated with another Kentucky law. It allows nurse midwives like her to perform home births, but requires them to collaborate with a physician, a requirement she says makes the practice next to impossible.
There just is not a lot of opportunities for certified nurse midwives in the state.
Kentucky is often cited as the birthplace of midwifery, but you wouldn't know it.
Amos wants some strawberries?
And that brings us back to Sarah Stewart Holland, mother of 2, both home births.
There really isn't a single thing I would change. It was a completely positive experience.
Except for the process of finding her midwife. She says the law forced her to hire a professional or lay midwife because there were no nurse midwives who perform home births in western Kentucky. That's why she started a petition to legalize them.
Licensing midwives only increases the safety of home births, which are going to happen anyway.
The American College of OBGYN does not support lay midwifery.
Dr. Divya Cantor, Kentucky Section Chair for the American College of OBGYNs and a physician consultant for health grades, says doctors and nurse midwives aren't collaborating more because they approach birth from different points of view.
Nurse midwifery is coming more from the pregnancy is a natural event, and we are taught more of the pathology or the abnormality of the event and to try to manage it.
But what does the science say about professional midwives? Well, we looked at multiple studies, like this one from 2005, published in the British Medical Journal, which says planned home births with certified professional midwives in North America had similar rates of neonatal mortality to those of low-risk hospital births. But this 2010 study, published in the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, it found planned home births had up to 3 times the risk of infant mortality. However, even this study said home births offers other benefits, like increased psychosocial rewards, reduced maternal-fetal morbidity, and fewer medical interventions.
The research has a lot of holes in it.
I never know when
So for now, professional midwives and doctors will continue to disagree on what's safe.
The benefit that I see from my perspective is that I'm trained to be able to take care of that unplanned event, that emergency that happens.
I've got my head and I've got my hands, and my heart is my intuition, and that's the basics of my practice.
What is he doing?
But there is one thing that's certain. There are a growing number of moms like Sarah who want home births either for religious or financial reasons. A home birth is a fraction of a typical hospital birth. But for Sarah, what she really wants most is for every mom to have the choice to have this moment.
If you'd like more information on midwives, home births, and if you'd like to read those studies for yourself, we've got a bunch of links for you. You can find those on our web channel. Just log on to WPSDLocal6.com.